luxury magazine or into the luxury market.
If you know there's a niche or an audience that you want to be a part of, look into those events, look into those invites, stand out somehow. It would be another tip. And make sure that you walk into the room and people are aware of your presence.
So everybody wants to know, and I'm dying to know, how do we get to meet all the celebrities that you get to meet? So have you ever wanted to get into a luxury magazine or into the luxury market? Well, today I have the publisher of Deluxe Version Magazine with me here today, Timothy Hancock, and he's going to tell you how to show up so that you can attract those bigger millionaires and land those bigger deals. So if you don't know me, my name is Celeste. I am a certified image consultant, and I help entrepreneurs really discover and master their own unique style so that you can command any stage. So thank you, Timothy, for being on the show today.
It's my honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I'm visiting him in Vegas, and I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's make this happen.
You literally hit the ground running. You landed, got hair, makeup. If you were ready to shoot within an hour, I'm blown away at your work ethic. It's just incredible, and it's an honor to work with you.
Oh, thank you. Well, I personally have really looked into this very elite luxury type of client. So I think my audience would really love to know, how do you get into a magazine such as Deluxe Version Magazine?
Well, any media relationship really just starts with networking and being in the right place at the right time. Eventually, as you start to network, you start to meet people who are in media, whether they're journalists, publishers, writers, photographers, podcast hosts, and those become your people that are your go-to people. I'm fortunate to be able to have introduced a lot of people to my magazine through my events. And so having the opportunity to host events and show up at events allows people to find the magazine and also get to know me. Once they get to know me, they're hooked. They're like, whatever you're doing, we want to be a part of it. And so I get to bring people into the world of our magazine, where we highlight luxury, travel, fashion, and all of the best that you can experience in life.
Yeah. And so do you think your audience or your client is mostly entrepreneurs?
Most of our audience is entrepreneurs. They're CEOs, they're executives. They are people who are constantly reinventing the wheel as far as building a brand or launching a company. And we become a one-stop shop for them because we have the network. So our network handles all their media, their branding, their web design, even from architectures to interior design, getting them off the ground and alive. But most importantly, building a community to help that entrepreneur succeed, not only with their story or their business, but building a community so that they can actually launch anything.
Yeah, no, I really see that you really roll out the red carpet for your clients. Something I've experienced myself, guys. I've been in other magazines and there's nothing like Deluxe Version. So I'd like to ask you though, you started this magazine in 2014. What was the idea behind it? Was there something missing in the market, or did you want to differentiate yourself as the go-to luxury magazine?
There are great magazines out there, and there were magazines that I even looked up to before starting my magazine. But if you don't know the right people, there is a waiting list or there is access that is not available. And so I wanted to become a space that everybody can find a way to be a part of it. So anybody can email me or my team, and we can put it on the pitching block for our editorial team to decide whether we're going to feature this. But if you go to those national publications that are really big and mainstream, you don't have a doorway, you don't have a way in, especially on a local market. So I came in and created a space for the locals to start, to get their story told. If you're storytelling, then you're able to change the game for a multitude of people in your sphere. And once that sphere grows and grows and grows, you start telling more stories. And I've given more people access to sharing their stories than they would have if they've had to just sit and wait in a PR room for that opportunity.
Yeah. So I really see that with this magazine. So you're doing a great job. Yeah. So can anybody just come in and be part of this, or are there criteria?
There are ways that we vet and just check and make sure that people are um, qualified to be within the circle that we market and share. We only, and one way that we do that is we only offer 2 ad sizes in our magazine. If you're interested in being our publication, you're only going to see either a full page ad or a cover. And if you can pick one of the two, you're qualified to make that decision and be a part of our magazine. We don't do half pages. We don't do small pages. This is just one of the things that we do to qualify people. And so we've cut out an entire market of people that don't fit the niche we're building. And we want to make sure the niche we're building is actually a niche that benefits everybody who's already in the magazine. So I want to make sure like the person flipping on the page next to you is actually somebody that can contribute to the person on the page before. And so now, when you're flipping through every single page of our magazine, everybody's qualified to be in the magazine. Everybody's qualified to have their story told. But that's just one of the many ways we qualify people. There's our events that we do for 40 under 40, 30 under 30. We're going to do background checks and we're going to, dive in deeper into their success in their career as well.
Okay. Well, a lot of people in, the audience here in my field are looking to really get in these high-end magazines to show up as the expert in their field. Could you give like maybe 3 tips to them? Basically, like, this is what you need to do to show up in a magazine like this. Say they want to make more deals. They want to
be visible anywhere. 3 tips I would give you, not just to be in my magazine, but just to get more visibility altogether, is to be consistent. So show up consistently. If you know there's a niche or an audience that you want to be a part of, look into those events, look into those invites and the galas or the philanthropy experiences, and show up and be consistent in showing up. Stand out somehow would be another tip. Stand out in your style, stand out in your personal flair, and make sure that you walk into the room and people are aware of your presence. Another thing is when you do walk into a room, don't be on your phone. Don't be looking down. Don't be too shy. Actually look up, acknowledge people. Be the first to introduce yourself, and that'll change everything for you. Especially with my magazine, you can walk into the room, demand a presence, and we'll see that. Our team will see that, and that'll actually draw more conversation for us to be confident and, sharing your story with us as well.
So when you started this, what was your personal brand like? Is it the same as it is now, or has it evolved?
Oh, it's totally evolved. And when I started this, it was very local. When I started Deluxe Version, we were honoring local real estate agents. We were honoring local lawyers and doctors, but nobody was doing it. And that's why I started it, because in Vegas, we actually just had sexiest cocktail waitress and hottest bartender, not really anything of depth. So I was able to go in, create a monthly event at the Bellagio. We started at Lily every single month, and we got 100 people together and started recognizing people for actual careers and actual, notable work. And those people started to show up, and they made the space their own. And that's how I built a community. So with the community, I was able to start the magazine and really grow from there.
Well, you're very, very modest. So Timothy is a mover and shaker in the celebrity world. So just today, we were, having a brunch before this podcast and saw Britney Spears' ex-husband, Sam, right? And it's just like, he was at Paris Hilton's party last night. Guys, I have to say, he knows a lot of people. And I think to a average, not say average, but to a entrepreneur that doesn't, run in the circles with celebrities, that's got to be very appealing too. So that also came with evolution, correct? How did that happen for you?
You just really have to show up and be a good person. Honestly, if your reputation is good, you're going to attract great people, but you're going to start to build something that we talked about earlier, which is relationship credit. And the more relationships that you succeed at building, then people are going to be more of a yes man to you, and they're going to make sure that you can open doors for other people, not just yourself. My greatest tip for being a leader is to pull people up with you and not just try to take the journey on your own and take the credit on your own. If you feel like you've leveled up, reach back and grab a few people and level them up with you. And that's how you're gonna find yourself in more prominent circles, and you're gonna find yourself like me in the rooms where I didn't even know I'd be there with celebrity. But yeah, I was like really happy to be in a place where people are starting to recognize me beyond what I ever imagined I would be.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty exciting. I love that for you.
Well, I'm bringing you up with me.
Yes, you are. We're moving up in this world together. So it's really like you made a point though, guys. Like I've always said this. Yes, relationship capital is key, but also being in rooms with people that are more successful than you
Exactly.
is a huge component to really leveling up.
Yeah. Especially just like when you go to the gym with somebody who been on a workout routine far better than yours, and it hits you like a wall. You're like, wow, I thought I could do all these, workout methods, and then it just hits your heartbeat and your heart rate stops going. If you're with people who challenge you, you're always going to find yourself trying to keep up with them, and they're gonna look back and make sure you're staying with them. So just don't give up and find those people that will level you up.
Yeah, for sure. So big and so important. So it's not just one thing to show up and be in Deluxe Version. It is how you're showing up as a brand, as a person. Personal brand is very, very important.
So important. And that's where you come in. Having somebody like you as an image consultant is so important, because you're going to go on to interviews, you're going to step into a red carpet, or even do a photo shoot for a book cover or an editorial space. I need somebody like you to make sure that I'm carrying my message of my brand, not only in my interview, but in the photo, in the video, and all the stuff that comes around it. It transcends time, and so it's really, really important to have professional image consulting and branding experts really help guide that with you. And we always find people just like you to make sure that our clients succeed in that space.
Yeah, because it can really send a message like, yeah, you're the expert in your field, but if you don't look the part and you don't act the part before, nobody's going to want to get to know you.
Nobody's going to want to get to know you, and they're not going to take you seriously or write that big check that you're expecting them to write.
Yeah, because it's that initial, do I trust you? Do I trust you to do business? Do I trust you to make this big deal? That relationship capital again. If, it's not just referrals, but think of how you're showing up. And I think for you, and what drew me to you and your whole brand, was that you showed up truly as who you are. And I thought that was like, oh, that's really attractive. So it's where I want to do business with someone, and of course the follow through, but that first initial step. So tell me like 3 things that you would give the audience on like how to show up as your best self.
Honestly, like, make sure you really dig deep. And for me, I love God, and I love being plugged into my faith and my community. So whether it's, going to church or being plugged in a philanthropy or something that really digs deep, you're going to find more ways to be authentic when you're doing things that actually feed your soul. So find something that feeds your soul would be my first tip. And then everything else falls into place with, are you taking care of your health and your wellness? Are you eating healthy? And all that adds up to this person that people are looking at and trusting to deliver a service or deliver a business opportunity. You have to really dig deep. If you aren't going to launch a business or put yourself out there, maybe you do need an image consultant to say, hey, what you're selling isn't going to add up unless you change this, this, and this, and really take that advice to heart so that you can really step out as your best self.
Mm-hmm.
So For some people, it comes naturally. You just check yourself and you're like, okay, I need to work out or I need to go shopping. But for other people, you might be really just struggling, like, hey, I've got this vision, but I don't look the part. And that's where you come in. And I really, that's a great tip. It's just to get an image consultant to support you with that. I don't know if I'm babbling, but let me know.
It's great. It's great. I appreciate it. So after you get in this article, after you've been on the front page, how do you leverage the magazine? How do you leverage the article? Because if you don't do anything with it, nobody's going to see it. Like, what's the point?
The old model of having a feature or an article or a cover was that the magazines would just print millions of copies and slather you all around. But in the digital age, we were able to start our magazine online first. So we were online for 3 years and then we went to print. So you leverage your content for us on the internet first. You have to show up and say, hey, I'm getting this quality content now. And if I don't do anything with this quality content, nobody's going to see it. And we've never promised ROI to anybody. We've always promised content and endorsement. So we are an authority in luxury. That's basically bottom line what we are. We're an authority in luxury, and an authority in luxury, we say, this is the place to travel, this is the place to eat, these are the people to work with. And we can have that authority after 10 years. We're able to stand on that foundation. So you come in and you trust us with that authority. We deliver the best content. Now, everybody who has gotten an article or a cover or a feature, if they sit on that content and don't post or don't share or don't send a couple copies to their top clients, then you're the one missing out. You have to, and that's just not just a magazine, that's anything. At this day and age, you have to meet halfway and put half of the effort in. That really is in your hand. If you don't put it in your hand, then nothing's going to come of it. So I really do qualify people from a job if they've got the energy to do that. If they don't have the energy to do that, I'll offer them something that is more along their energy, whether it may be like a smaller event that they can handle that capacity and energy and then build up to something like a cover. If you're doing a cover, you want to make sure you have a clientele list that you're going to mail 100 copies to at least, and make sure that your clients are your hype. Your clients are sharing your story as well. And it really just goes a long way after that.
Yeah, it's like follow through, take the email list, like start, it's like that's part of the promoting, the part of the marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you really need to like leverage that. But you do a really great job with that, because I don't know any other magazine that's like, okay, I'm going to put you on the front cover. I'm going to give you like 3 articles throughout the year. But you will repost. You will do the things too, just to help your client say like, no, you are important. Like, I want you to know you're important as well. But yeah, so that's really nice.
And part of any business is knowing how much you can take on. So even with us, we know how much we can take on, and that's why we qualify only full-page advertisers or covers. We don't want to take on people that are expecting the most with little. We want to take on people that are expecting to be surprised with the most. So we underpromise and overdeliver.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we do is we underpromise and overdeliver and give our clients the expectancy and room to be surprised. And so like with you, even, we were able to say, hey, you actually meet our goal that we wanted to sooner. So we're going to give you a billboard. And so I'm able to deliver a billboard that you had no idea that was going to come your way.
Yeah.
And so things like that are our honor to be able to do.
Yeah, it's exciting to have somebody in your corner too, like to really nurture that. And that's, I think, also one of the things that differentiates you, your magazine, your brand, and all the people that work for you. What would you say the top 3 mistakes are that people make when trying to get into a publication?
Don't expect people to give you services for free. That's a big no-no.
Yeah.
And then just showing up late to events that are really important for your visibility. Try to be on time. Try to be there within the first 30 minutes of the event start time. That way you can walk the room, have a presence that's notable, and shake the right hand and meet the right people. my last tip would be just don't get too carried away at a social gathering with a beverage or cocktail. Make sure that you make as many contacts, give your card out to as many people. So that way you're not just there for a good time. It's great to let people see you in your element, but so many people I've seen have just, started to get it carried away in events as of late. And I've had to say, this is the room. This is the room that you've been brought into. This is the table that you get a seat at. Make sure that you are visible and prominent and present and in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, those are good tips on the 3 mistakes not to make. I would agree with those. I mean, there's so many more, but oh yeah, I'm going to throw one in there. Learn how to shake a hand. If you do not know how to properly shake a hand, it can send the message that you're not confident, you don't care, and this is your opportunity to really shine. So,
how do I do on the handshake?
You do great on the handshake.
You good?
Yeah, you're golden. So you've been doing these for a minute. I call him the King Connector because this man knows everybody or knows someone who knows someone. So building, Jeff Fenster says this so well, and I quote him quite a bit because he talks about the first rule in his business is to have fun and to make friends. And you're like, well, how does that relate in business? And he's like, well, I want everybody to have fun, and making friends is building that relational capital. So if you came to me and I was like, you introduced me, I introduced you, and then we introduced our friend Haley, right? And it's learning the things about Haley and you, and how can I connect you and her, or her and so, and building that connection and keep going with that, and truly being meaningful with it as well.
No.
Because when one day you need that, then you've got a whole bucket of,
And you start to do it without intention of
Right.
that. You start to do it because that's just who you are, your core. And when you just don't even think about it, you realize you're a connector. You're putting dots together, puzzle pieces together. You've created a full circle experience for that to come back to you. But it doesn't hurt to think of others. And I was telling you on the way here, it's just my mantra is just to love your neighbor as yourself. Give other people the same treatment you want to be treated, and it'll always come back to you.
Yeah. And being an entrepreneur is a lone wolf game. There's like so many of us who are not in the connecting world all the time. We're sitting behind our desks, we're making the things happen, doing the things, and it can get lonely. So knowing that when someone is like, no, let's just connect someone because we want good people around us. We want good relationships. I trust you. Let's do business.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that, though.
That's totally okay to take a few years to get to know some people and study their habits and study their heart for, the work that you're putting into a business before bringing them in as a partner or bringing them onto your team. And I'm so blessed that I got to bring on to my team my editor-in-chief, Danny Reeves. She's been a part of our family for over 6 years, but she plugged herself in and she showed her worth and she showed her value long before she was editor-in-chief of our magazine and started doing red carpets and videos. We did Billboard Music Awards a couple times. And, somebody like her, the perfect example of, showing up, putting in the extra work, putting in the extra effort, and really earning your space in a business or a position like she has. So I'm all about taking your time to get to know people, because once you see that they are the right people for your team, you won't be lonely on there. You won't be at the top alone. You'll have a network of people that you're building friends and having fun with. And that's what we do. We have a lot of fun and we really are working, but we're having so much fun.
Yeah. That's like, I'm so lucky too, because my work is not really work. It's like I get to play, I get to make people confident and happy. And like, it's just, it's like Disneyland for me. So I'm very fortunate too. But I think as entrepreneurs, we're always looking to level up, right? What if someone is stuck today? Like they're like, maybe they're even like looking to promote within their company, and they feel like they're doing all the things. They're showing up on time, they're doing the work, but is there something that you would recommend as far as like to that person, whether they're an entrepreneur or not, like ready to level up, really to like go to the next level? What are some tips you would give to that person to be like, maybe you should do this. Maybe you'll level up after this.
I've seen some people be stuck before, and I've always suggested getting a part of a workout class or become a part of a frequent meetup. For me, is go to church, become a part of a Bible study. Like if you find a little group that levels you up or that you get to be a part of, whether it's spin or hiking or a football class or football class, does that exist? Or like a football meetup or anything, just like start to be a part of teamwork building. And some people really actually lose sight of that. They lose sight of community and being a part of a teamwork experience. So get plugged into something and then you'll start to ignite maybe a new passion or, a vision as well. But you really can't succeed in anything without community.
Yeah, there's a lack of community within, I mean, a lot of us in America. I think we've lost that sense. And I've been very fortunate to start bringing that back into my life.
Yeah.
And it does make a difference because, not just being an entrepreneur is hard. You've got your ups and your downs, and when you have more of a sense of like wholeness or fulfilled feelings, I guess.
Yeah, even a book reading club, something simple that you're engaging with other human beings, because that engagement makes you think about more things, makes you communicate better, and the follow-up even is still stuff that carries over to business as well.
Yeah, no, that's a good, yeah, I haven't thought about that. That's really good. Okay, so if someone wanted to come to you to say, Timothy, sign me up, or I want to be considered to be seen in your magazine, what does the step-by-step process look like?
What they could do is just email us at media@dlxvrsn.com. It's deluxe version with no vowels. And we can put that on the screen somewhere, I'm sure, right here.
Yeah. Click to subscribe. But say, do you have a process past that? So it's like someone to expect like what that looks like.
Yeah, once we get in contact, you'll get an email from us. We'll ask you a few questions about your business, and then we'll evaluate what the next step would be, whether it's a phone call or to go ahead and get you set up with a writer for a Q&A. And once that, goes through a few interactions, then we decide whether it's going to be an award feature or a full page article or even a cover. There are only a few options with us, so it's really very simple. It's not a long process, but we typically know within a day or so whether or not you'll be a part of our family.
Okay. I like that, be a part of your family, because you truly do feel like that.
I feel like your family already, Jean. I'm so grateful.
Me too. And I know a lot of people use that very light, I guess lightly these days. It's almost like, I love you. And it's like, no, this is truly a family community, which is, like I said, you need community in business.
I want everybody to succeed, whether it's with us or with another magazine or whether you go, get press and media on the news or billboards. However, you just need to make sure that your relationships are consistent. And you start to build that with anybody, you'll always have good press and good media right by your side. And that's great advice for anybody looking to stand out more.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Okay, so everybody wants to know, and I'm dying to know, how do we get to meet all the celebrities that you get to meet?
I don't even know how I get to meet them.
Well, you do. I mean, this is like, oh yeah, so-and-so. Oh, so-and-so. That's so-and-so. So how do you get to that point? Because I imagine a lot of people here.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be that important, or I want to rub elbows with celebrities.
Okay, wipe out my first answer. let's we'll backtrack this to a couple
This makes it a good podcast.
and yes. I don't have to think about that. I don't even know. I'm just like out there being myself and being a good person. And I'm just connected and connected and connected. And before you know it, it's a handful of celebrity. It's not something you can pay for. It's actually, you just literally have to show up, be present, be authentic, and build those relationships yourself.
Right. But you're going to these, like, you're getting invited to these events. And did this take time for you? Did this, you met one person and then you met 100 more?
Yeah. You do good work. People talk about the good work you do. And then once you go from there, doors open in ways that you never imagined possible. Everybody's working. Everybody's building something. And these celebrities are making new albums. They're writing books. They're launching companies and skincare lines. So they're working too. If you're out there being your best, person, your best body of work, your body of work and their body of work are going to find each other, and you're going to end up working together or in the same room as people who you could work with.
I like that, because these celebrities are obviously doing multiple businesses.
Every celebrity is just a person.
Right.
Just like you and me. So to be starstruck would be the foolish decision ever, when you can understand that that person is just like you. They've got a house to, pay for. They've got a car to drive, and they've got all the same things that you need. So treat any celebrity same as you, and honestly treat them like a brother or a friend, and you will grow. And of course they know other people. So
right.
That's just a hard one to wrap myself around, because I never really overthought it. I've just been my best body at work, and that carried me through different rooms.
Yeah. So everyone, with you, dial in your personal brand, show up as your best self, be authentic, do great work, and surround yourself with people that are more successful than you, and build that relationship capital. I truly feel like, is that kind of some of the things?
Exactly it.
Yeah.
No.
And of course, hire me, because you need your colors.
There are no shortcuts to it. I didn't just, pay one person to say, hey, be friends with this guy. Like, we're not Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello just pretending to be in a relationship for, celebrity culture. Like, people have to show up, become the best version of themselves, and do the work. And that's what Deluxe Version stands for, is discover the best version of you.
Oh, I did learn something today.
Yeah.
I do love that.
We're all about that.
Yeah. Well, where can people find Timothy Hancock?
I'm on Instagram at Timothy Hancock. And then our magazine is Deluxe Version Magazine. So you can hop on to Instagram and then find all of our links in our link in bio. That's just the best place to start.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you getting on here and talking to the audience here. Guys, if you learned something today, we want to hear more about image, personal branding, fashion tips, and style, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. And thanks a lot.